Hi everybody, welcome to today's English lesson where we are going to be continuing with writing our warning tale. So hopefully we are going to get a chance to write our build up and our problem section of our stories. So before you go on with today's lesson, you're going to need to have planned your story, which we would have done hopefully on Tuesday. And then yesterday's lesson, we added in some skills to our plan before writing our introduction. Okay, now this bit here, our little starter, I know it's going to be a little bit trickier doing this at home because normally if we were writing over a few days in school, we would mark them for you every day and then we'd spend the first section of each lesson having a look at editing what we'd written so far, looking for and discussing those marvellous mistakes that we might have made. But I'm hoping you guys can take the challenge and have a go yourselves today. So I've got Fix It Felix over here. Oh gosh, sorry. I'm just trying to move this so you can actually see what I've written here. Fix It Felix over here. And basically I want you to have a go. You could either do this solo or again, if you've got, I don't know, a partner, somebody you could FaceTime or talk about this with, have a go at finding some SPGs in what you did yesterday. Sometimes with a fresh pair of eyes, it's a lot easier to see these things, isn't it? So have a little look through. Now, if you look through and you notice you've got a marvellous mistake that you're not sure quite how you might be able to fix, could we fix it as a class or a group, a year 5 group? So if you've got anything you're not sure of, anything you think might be a marvellous mistake, perhaps a spelling, perhaps a sentence, often I was going to say here, embedded clauses, whether they're making sense or not, send them through to me. Send me through a little screenshot, a little picture, and I can include them and we can have a look as a group tomorrow. Okay, so if you want to pause me here, you can have 5 or so minutes editing time. Anything you can fix yourself, great. Anything you're not sure on, send them through to me in an email and I would be more than happy to have a chat with them, have a chat with you about them, have a chat as a group on this session together. Okay, don't forget, drop-in sessions are also a really good opportunity for you to fix those. All right, now before we begin writing, we're going to do a little bit of shared writing together now. Before we do that, what I want you to do is think about, normally either me or Miss Rutherford would have given you a now task after day 1 of writing, would have gone, right, we now want to see this in your writing. Obviously we might not have been able to do that with you this time. So again, can you be the teacher? Can you set yourself a now task? Perhaps you are going to challenge yourself to include 3 bits of reported speech in your writing today. Perhaps you're going to challenge yourself to make sure that everything's written in paragraphs or you're using your best handwriting or whatever it might be. Okay, that's your challenge to set yourself your own challenge. Okay, if you're ready, let's move on to a bit of guided writing. Right, again, I'm going to be a little bit lonely here. Normally we do this together, guys, and I prefer it because you have got all the fabulous ideas, okay? But what we're going to do is I'm going to have a go at writing myself the beginning of my build-up for my story. So remember, Florida's my main character. She's obsessed with celebrities and she is dreaming and wanting to go to Los Angeles, okay, to see all those celebrities, Hollywood. So I've got my skills list down here. The reason I've got my skills list there is because we're going to use it. I'm going to try and get all of them into my writing now. Remember, it's important we keep them in our mind as we write, because otherwise we can kind of just go write loads and not end up showcasing all of those amazing things that you've learned over the last few weeks. So skills I'm looking at including are reported speech, embedded clause, direct speech, and then building a bit of atmosphere, describing my setting. Okay, so if I just set that, hopefully that should work nicely for me. I left off yesterday. I'd introduced Florida, written all about her, written about the fact that she was obsessed with celebrities, and I needed to just write off the little bit about her mum warning her not to. Okay, so I'm going to begin. I'm going to try and get a fronted adverbial in to start with, because I know for me sometimes started every sentence with the, she, it, or whatever can be a bit of a problem. So I'm going to go for unsurprisingly. Nice lot of prefixes and suffixes in there as well. So unsurprisingly, let's see if I can get my reported speech in. I got it. Florida's mum had told her, remember, told is a bit of like a golden word when it comes to using reported speech, isn't it? There we go. So Florida's mum had told her to stop obsessing over celebrities I could probably make this a bit longer. What about if I tried to get an embedded clause in this sentence? To stop obsessing over celebrities. So I could have to stop obsessing over celebrities and pay attention in class. What about if I added in, so her to stop obsessing over celebrities, focus on her studies and pay attention in class. How about that, troops? Let's have a look. Let's highlight off. I think there we've got our Florida's mum had told her to stop obsessing over celebrities. That would be our reported speech. Tick, tick. And then we've got a little cheeky embedded clause as well. Focus on her studies. And remember, it's an embedded clause, so I've used a comma sandwich. Boop. Not bad going for a first sentence, eh? Okay, so pay attention in class. Let's continue. Okay, my next skill I've got on my list is direct speech. So why don't I get some direct speech in right now about Florida's mum? So why don't I get a sentence that she could say? And what would you say? What do you think Florida's mum would say? Do you think she's probably a bit fed up with all of the stuff that Florida talks about with celebrities? What about if we say, okay, she said about focusing on her studies. Why can't you just put all of this effort in, slipping off the screen there, effort into fractions? Okay, right, with direct speech, what do I need? I remembered my speech mark here. This is what she's saying, so I need my speech mark there, but there's something else I need before. Can you remember? I need the punctuation inside the speech marks, and she's asking a question, so I'm going to do a question mark. Why can't you just put all of this effort into fractions? She had asked in frustration. Remember, I'm writing in past tense here, aren't I? And I started a new line. Did you notice that for my direct speech? So I'm just going to, what am I doing? I'm going to get my highlighter on. I'm going to just do, rather than do all of it, all of this is direct speech, isn't it? So let's just do a little box around it. Not the neatest of lines, but I've got my direct speech in. And now the last thing I want to include is a little bit of detail on describing my atmosphere, building up my settings. So she had asked in frustration. What about still? Florida, and again, I'm trying to not start my sentences with Florida, she, too much. A little bit's fine, but too much, nada. So, still, Florida spent her days dreaming of being elsewhere. Where's she dreaming of? We know that she's dreaming of LA, isn't she? So, I might say something like, sun, this is one of my favourite words, sun-kissed. It means it's being like touched by the sun. Sun-kissed pavements, honking cars. I've run out of room here, but honking. So my sentence might be sun-kissed pavements, honking cars, celebrities on every corner. Florida wanted to be in Los Angeles. Something like that. Okay, so I've got a little bit of atmosphere build in there because we can build atmosphere by describing our setting. So we get our reader really excited about where we're going by really kind of slowly building in that description of it. Okay, so that's my example of a starter. And as always, it goes without saying that you guys can always do a much better job than that. Okay, but hopefully you can see the beginnings of the amount of detail I'm getting in and the number of skills I'm getting in there as well. Okay, so your task today, everybody, and again, it might be useful. I know some of you type this out on a computer, but it might be useful just to make a mark of where you're starting to write today. A, so that if you send it to your teacher, we can just see the next section that you've written and focus on that. Or B, just for you to see kind of how much you're writing each day. Is it that you're writing the same amount each time, or are you finding that you're having bursts one day and not so much the other? Either way, your focus today is just to write off. So finish your introduction if you haven't done that, and then have a go at writing your build up and problem. Tomorrow we're going to focus on resolution and ending. So I don't want you to go any further than your build up and your problem, because otherwise, if you do, you're likely going to rush there. Okay. So each box, remember, should be a minimum of about 12 to 16 lines. Okay. That's 2 to 3 paragraphs. Okay. That's the minimum we want, because you're turning those notes and those sentences into something really detailed and juicy. Okay, I've got a few reminders on the screen here. Now, these are just general ones. Again, it might be that you guys send me through some stuff today and we have a few more reminders to add tomorrow. But a few things: biggest one, when we're writing our stories, we write it in past tense. Okay, we use was, not is. Remember, it's already happened. Okay, think about where your commas are going to go for your relative clauses and your embedded. Make sure there's a comma sandwich. Make sure they make sense as well. Biggest thing there. I've put there for if you're doing speech, verb, comma, speech, or speech, comma, verb for direct speech. Okay, and you might have your own personal reminders. Okay, so I'd like you to carry on writing. I'd love to see what you're up to. I've put here edit times. Again, if we were normally in the classroom, we would stop you probably about twice during the lesson so that you could edit either solo or with a partner what you'd already done. But you guys can do that, whenever. It might be that you decide you're going to write for 20 minutes, have a 5-minute break to edit, 20 minutes, 5-minute edit break, whatever you want to do. Do try and fill in your success criteria as you go. It really helps you see what you need to include, and it helps me see kind of what you've been trying to include on the way as well. All right. Happy writing, everybody. Don't forget, the drop-in sessions are there. If you're stuck on something with this, don't be stuck in silence. Come along and either Miss Rutherford or I will get you out of that learning pit and we'll get you getting on with it. All right. I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Please do send me any examples of your writing so I can share them tomorrow if possible. And take it easy. Bye-bye.